Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly seniors, Henderson here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. And remember, no matter who you are valid. And welcome to this, a brand new day. It is gray, overcast, kind of windy. It's chill, the kind of day I enjoy. It's going to be that way till later this afternoon. The sun's going to start coming out. It's going to warm up. And if you like sun and you're in this area, you might be a muck. And if you're not in this area, hopefully hopefully the weather is nice where you are. Hopefully the wind is nice too. We have a section of road here in the town that I live in that when you walk on it, the wind along there comes in hard. It is channeled just perfectly, and it is often a very bitter wind, even when it's hot and sunny. And it was hard. I mean, it was almost like boof, and then you come to a halt because it hits you that hard. So thumbs up. Anyway, just some silly stuff I wanted to talk about. First, there's Tim Kaine. I have written down deep learning, culture in a prison, and as a prison in teens. Because I have talked before how culture is a glass prison. You grow up learning your culture. You learn that when you walk past the green building, you hop on one leg or you get punished. You learn that when you hear the siren, as long as it's going, you bend over at your waist or you get punished. You get told you work 5 days a week, and if you don't, you get economically punished. You're told go to church on Sundays, and if you don't, you get socially punished. Culture is a prison. Often it's not a prison that is bad, but it teaches you what channels to think in. So that often what you see in front of you as your culture is the default, because you can't see all the side divisions and other decisions that could be made because culture taught you this. Well, Tim Kaine, who's I don't know if he still works. He's like 10 years younger than I am. He's the guy that, one of the producers and programmers for the original Fallout. I watch him, though he seems to be a bit more on the right side of things. And when I say right, I mean politically. I mean, in the US, we don't have a left party, because if you're on the left, you're anti-capitalist. We don't have that in the US. It's all capitalist, which is automatically, if you're pro-capitalist, you're on the right. We are on the right in the US. It's just the flavors and shades of that. I can't remember where I was going. Tim Kaine. So he was talking about deep learning, and deep learning is the things you learn before you even know you're learning or even have a conscious memory. Like, if you look at a word in your language, you will be unable to see it as just an assemblage of lines. It's a word made up of letters. You can't unsee that, because before you even had conscious memory, you were seeing this stuff everywhere. You got taught. So I was one of those that I didn't quite self-teach, but once I started to learn, I shot forward. I was reading hard and fast. I don't know how to look at letters and just see them as an assemblage of lines. So deep learning is a thing. Culture, deep learning, not exactly the right words. As he says, linguistic drift. Just like there's lower drift, there's linguistic drift. You start calling something something, and if it changes over time, it's so gradual, you don't even realize you've changed the terms you're using. I bring all that up because I have over here these two teas. I really enjoy them. But this one, Bengal Spice with a tiger. And this one, Hot Cinnamon Sunset. When I drink these, the feeling I get is I should be drinking them at night when it's humid. It is a sunset drink. It tastes dark because of the cinnamon and stuff in it. And this tastes dark because of the various things like, the roast chicory, the black pepper. They taste dark, like you should be in a dark and humid place. Now, this is culture. And this could be specific to Pacific Northwest culture, or Washington State, or United States, or my portion of the United States. I'm just saying culture where I was taught. This brings up these things. So thumbs up for that. Just thought I'd mention. Let me put these over here. Now, one of the things I had been talking about doing was taking some of my games away and putting them into storage. Because as much as I love having these things around just to look at on the shelf and bring down and look at and play with the pieces and such, is just like when you go to a restaurant and it has a machine with 1,000 buttons on it for drinks, you're going to hit what they call choice paralysis. You can't make a choice because there's too much choice being provided. It actually, as much as I hate it, it actually is better for you as a person and them as a corporation if they take that limitless choice and bring it down to about 6 or 7. Because then your brain goes, oh, I can do this. And then you can easily make your choice. But you start adding more and more choices, you get more and more waiting and indecision and dithering. That's, as much as I like having them up there, that's what's been happening. So, I put all of my board game stuff on my bed, and I went through it, and yesterday I took half of them to my storage unit in Walmart bags. So they are there, and I'm going to be rotating one game per month. So these are the games that I have out that I want to continue playing, that I want to show off for the channel, that I will hopefully find easier to do since there's a smaller amount. Now, this is 3 games in one in this one box. I have the cards for Iron Helm and 8-Bit Dungeon in here, because this is the game part fills up like this much, so I need all this other stuff to fill up this box. Otherwise it's going to be stuff lying everywhere. But this is 3 games, this Iron Helm and 8-Bit Dungeon, and this one I want to get to know more of because I want to play it on its terms, because it seems really fun and I did enjoy. It's just I've been fighting with the rule set, and these, both Iron Helm and Tin Helm, are just good stuff. Jason Glover, Grey Gnome Games, does very good. So these are 3 things right there in 2 boxes. Oh my god, I got my locker over here next to me. And I'm putting things on that. And then there's Deckbox Dungeons. I don't have my overhead light on here because it's like having the power of the sun right there, and it's just overpowering, so I'm sorry. But Deckbox Dungeons, I've tried playing this. I've used the app. I hate the fact that the app makes it better. You should make it for this. But this is also, I've mentioned how, yeah, they got an app, but you really need to go to their website and download the rules, because the book in here for the rules, that is like they took the real rules and just cut out everything but the barest essentials. You're missing so much of the game if you just use the rules that come with it. You need to download the rules from the website. It'll actually tell you how to play and show you what you need to do. So this is out, and I want to maintain, and I want to play that more out of the way too. And then, of course, I actually got this one out to play it, and then I couldn't because I just had too many pieces and places that I would have had to move stuff. This one I really want to do. It's cute with the little badger, and I am not exactly sure if the V should be pronounced with a V, with a W, or a mix between the two, because I have heard all 3 of them pronounced in that way. The name of the badger is like means like guardian, but it's Wogter, and I have heard Wogter, Wogter, Vogter, and a sort of Vogter. And I'm not quite sure how to pronounce things properly, so yeah, Scalantir, the badger running from the devil, Garmly Erig. Yeah, it's got nice pieces in it. It's really nice. So I want to play that for the channel and myself as well. I'm running out of... I don't have any good, like, places just to set things. I'm going to pull out a drawer here so I can set things inside of it. I put the first deck box dungeon away because I want to engage with just this on its own terms without going, oh, there's an expansion with it. Because I want to play it and enjoy it. There's a good game underneath my irritation at the developers. So that's another one that I want to really get into doing. Mini Rogue is a fun one, and there's actually a... I can't remember if it's free or if you have to pay for it a little bit, but it's a print and play mini version of Mini Rogue. So I've been thinking about that, but I really want to play that. I got a placemat. It's got how it is, so you really need a placemat. But it's good stuff. In a way, it's kind of like Iron Helm and Tin Helm, in that you're in a dungeon and it has a certain number of floors. So, but it's good stuff. And then this one is very video game-ish, and there are a lot of people that complain about this one online. Some people have said it is unbalanced. Some people have said it's just way too RNG oriented. There's a lot of people that complain about that. At the same time, there are a lot of people that praise it for those exact same things and engage with those that say this is suck because of this, and they go, well, no, you did not engage with it properly. This is a great rule. Everyone in the community enjoys it. So I want to do this one. It's going to be tough because, of course, you're fighting a Minotaur while you're lost in the labyrinth. So, well, you don't want to be fighting the Minotaur, but that's one of those things that will happen. And then this one, there's another YouTuber who can't really YouTube anymore because of their job. Periodically do C4, C-E-E-P-H-O-U-R. When they did this one, they had to break the board up into 2 pieces. It's a big board. In fact, I've got one of those end tables from Walmart that it's like 2.5 feet long, and I had to extend the board over that and onto my bed. So yeah, it is long and thin, and it's kind of like the video game Space Invaders. You've got your spaceships that are coming down, and you're trying to build up research and all of these storage units, not taking damage, building up your research so you can wipe out the mothership that keeps descending. And that is a long board. You'd have to almost put the camera up at the ceiling if you wanted to see the whole thing, but then you're looking at the whole room and not just the game. And then the last one, Space Invaders, Space Marines, I want to play for the channel too. I've played it by myself. I've done it. It's surprisingly good for as simple as it is. Now, Board Game Geek, some of the people there have added optional rules that even let the Necrons do something besides just stand there and stare at you silently and judgmentally. One of the other things I want to do is, since I've got some of these in their PDF form, so that when I do things, I don't have to just lift up a book or such. But this is an awesome, crunchy game, and I want to do it for the channel. Whether I can do it digitally or I have to do it in an analog fashion, not sure. Then, of course, I want to continue doing the occasional For Against Darkness, so thumbs up on that. Other things I have written down, since that's not the only thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh yes, last night I did record. I got an itchy thing on the edge of my eyelid. I did record, edit, render, but didn't upload because it was so late and I was starting to feel heavy. I have 8 Fabled Lands, and while I know they don't get the best views in the world, I enjoy the game. I know that there are people that watch, and I know that there are also people that don't. The first video got thousands of views. But after that, no. They've struggled to cross 100. So, whatever I was providing them was not what they wanted. Thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, that part is life. But also, I'm just going to talk about last night. I took an extra melatonin tablet. 2 of the gummies are there. They're in gummy format, melatonin gummies. But 2 of them are 5 milligrams. And somebody here that is one of the staff workers, they take 10 milligrams. So I took an extra last night, so I had 3 2.5 milligram gummies, and I actually slept a little less. I woke up around 2. I mean, it was a good thing. I had to empty my bladder, but when I woke up, it felt like it should be 6, and it was only 2. But luckily, I fell back asleep quickly, and I was up and out of bed at 6. And one of the things I do like about sleeping, because I have stopped taking as much caffeine as I used to, and because I stopped taking caffeine before I go to bed, because I have ADHD, when you add a stimulant to your brain like that, it makes your brain work close enough to normal that it can actually calm down and go to sleep. But I've, for my blood pressure, stopped taking as much caffeine. So I have been sleeping not worth a darn ever since then. But melatonin tablets, not only am I waking up, I mean, it is 8:45 right now. I have been waking up at 6 o'clock, and sometimes 7 o'clock I am ready to go. Whereas beforehand, it would sometimes be 8 o'clock before I was even really moving and getting going to try and get ready for the day. So it'd be 10 o'clock and I was dragging myself out the door. Whereas with melatonin things, actually being able to sleep like I used to with, stimulants that were, of course, raising my blood pressure to wipe me out. So it's good to have energy. It is good to be able to sleep. I wish I didn't hurt as much. I wish I didn't have issues. I wish I knew where my doctor's appointment was, because I have had disruptions all this week and they're going to continue. I can't remember. Monday may have been a good day with just regular, but of course yesterday was room inspections, and they were just doing, again, just an infrastructure check to make sure things worked. And then today, I have that doctor's appointment at 3 o'clock. Tomorrow, I have my therapy session, and Friday, I have a med manager appointment. And the kind of autistic person I am, I really need routine, a schedule, and habit to cling to. And when that gets disrupted, I get disrupted. So I'm laughing at myself and also just going arg, because I can understand how silly it is while also being affected by it. So thumbs up on that. And I don't really have anything else past that. I wish I did. I've been working on my setting in my head. Oh yes, the one thing that I did think about last night that I'm amazed I remember. When I started taking Ritalin, that was the first time in my life my brain ever worked properly. Almost 60 years old, and it was the first time my brain ever worked properly. I could think. I could remember things. I had a pause track for the many tracks of thought I could have. I would confidently go into a store. Before going in, would just say, hey, let's just put that on pause. Go into the store and forget entirely what I was thinking about, because I was doing store stuff. And the moment I walked out of that store, I just went, okay, let's take that off the pause track. And then went ahead like I had never stopped thinking about it. I could think. I could remember. My brain worked. But my blood pressure went up so high, I'm lucky I didn't have a stroke. So I had to stop taking Ritalin. And taking Ritalin was like living in a golden city where I could think and remember. But because it was killing me, I had to move to this shanty shack halfway down the hill, looking up at the golden city, remembering that I used to live there, remembering that I used to be able to think, remembering that I used to be able to remember stuff, but not being able to do any of that, but being able to remember that I could. But I was also able to take caffeine instead of Ritalin. But then the caffeine has been raising my blood pressure too much, so I had to stop taking as much. Probably gonna have to keep lowering. I've had to move from the tin shanty shack down into a landfill. So I'm looking up at the tin shanty where I used to look up at the golden city. I could see the golden city from the shanty. From the landfill, I can't see the city. And it's hard to see the shack. I used to lament taking caffeine tablets that I used to be able to remember how to think. I used to be able to remember. I used to be able to think. I used to be able to remember. And it was torture. This was why I was afraid to take Ritalin, because what if I had to stop? And it was torture. But now I'm been down in the landfill for so long, I can't remember what it felt like to think. I can't remember what it used to feel like to remember, to have more than one track. I laugh about it, the one track where if you're driving along with ADHD, and when you're distracted, that's your track of thought. It's not tangent, it is now the track. And if you can't directly remember what you were thinking about, this is your new line of thought. You don't have any other tracks, you got one. And I hate that. But I can't remember what it even felt like to be able to think. I can't remember what it felt like to be creative. I can't remember what it felt like to be able to remember. I remember that I could, but I can't remember what it felt like. When I was in the tin shanty, I could remember what it felt like, but I couldn't do it anymore. Now it's all just fog. It's not torture anymore. It's just gone. Yay. But that's just life. Life is life. I'm a 61-year-old guy. I've lived through a lot of stuff that should have taken me out, and I'm still running. I've known people that died a whole lot younger than I am now, like my wife, who didn't even make it past 41. So anyway, though, for the rest of the day, I'm going to be editing, rendering, uploading, that sort of such, and trying to get my things done before I go to my appointment. Once I'm done with my appointment, come on back, try to do something. And again, I know a lot of people don't watch the Filmora generated music videos, but they're fun to put together, and I like the music. So I'm going to keep making them, even though they don't get a ton of views, or even though it's rare for them to break 100 anymore. Thumbs up for that. And hey, if you are a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you. It is greatly appreciated. You are beautiful and awesome people. When I can, I'll be putting names up here again. And when I have the energy, I will be reading out names for all of you. But when you look in the mirror, remember that you are looking at someone who is beautiful and awesome. For everybody that leaves me comments, and I mean everybody, thumbs up and thank you. It is so appreciated. It makes my life a whole lot better. And of course, if you've watched this far, remember that you too are beautiful and awesome. And if you could just type Splenda in the comments to let me and the algorithm know that people do in fact watch the videos. Watch the algorithm. Yay, I can talk. So thumbs up on that. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very, very good thing. Nothing special to say, just I hate having my schedule disrupted. Life is life. You know, it's tough to be human, isn't it?